Welcome. The topic with the editorial of Hindu today is last lap. Topic is being quoted over here in the front page so that you don't have any trouble in finding the topic just before the passage goes. The link has been given at the bottom of this screen so that you can connect or join Telegram for PDF files of this editorial as well as some other material that I post over it. Then we have some of the color codes as always, which most of you have remembered, and then a series of word meanings that have been used in this passage. The first is last lap. It means final part of an activity. Last lap means final part of an activity. The second word is running mate. See, running mate is refers to a person who is contesting election together with the same party. So two persons contesting elections from the same party. The second person is called running mate. Normally this term is used in countries where president and vice president both are elected by voters directly, and presently it is in relation to elections in the USA. So the president becomes a nominated person and the vice president candidate is selected by the president out of lot many persons that have come out of primary elections, and he calls it running mate, a person running together with another person. Then we have a word array. Array means a series of things, a series of belonging to one family, a series of things. A series, say, for example, a series of complaints, an array of complaints it will be called. And then we have repercussion. A repercussion refers to recoil. Wobble refers to unsteady. Eviscerate, the removal of essential content from something. Well, it has so many other meanings as well, but over here in this passage, it refers to removal of essential content of something that has been announced already. Then there is a word sanctuary cities. See, USA has sanctuary cities. Cities where municipal authorities limit the powers of central government by putting restrictions related to immigration. So the persons coming in and going out of those cities will have to take the permission from the municipal, and this type of limitations in those cities make them categorized as sanctuary cities. Then we have a word A game. A game refers to challenging game. A game that has some challenges involved in it is A game. Okay, we continue with the passage. The topic last lap, the final round of things. The subtopic, Biden and Harris have to show they can lift the US out of virus-induced crisis. So it says that Biden and Harris are contesting elections from Democrat Party, and they must prove that they can take off US away from the crisis created due to COVID-19. So this is the subtopic. The main issue is uh, the economy of the country, of the nation. Former US Vice President Joe Biden has become the Democratic Party's official nominee for 2020 presidential election after a glitzy 4-day extravaganza at the Democratic National Convention. So here at this convention, Democratic National Convention, Mr. Joe Biden has been uh, selected or rather nominated for presidential election officially, and this took some 4 days, glitzy, containing lots of show and extravaganza, a lot of expenses also involved in this convention. So this is the description how Mr. Joe Biden has been nominated for the presidential election. Alongside his running mate, now the running mate is the person fighting on the same ticket from the same party, Kamala Harris. He will seek to oust incumbent Donald Trump from the White House. So it says that along with Kamala Harris, Mr. Biden, he refers to Mr. Biden, he will seek, the words ahead of he is, will seek to oust incumbent Donald Trump. Now he refers to Mr. Joe Biden. Mr. Joe Biden, along with Kamala Harris, will seek to oust Donald Trump from White House. So this is how the pronoun is related. If he does so, an array of remedial policy actions will be required from an early stage to lift the US out from economic destruction caused by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. So this becomes an issue. It says that if he does so, he again for Mr. Biden, if Mr. Biden is able to oust Donald Trump, if he does so, has this much of meaning. If Mr. Biden is able to oust Donald Trump, is able to win the elections, a series of remedial policy actions will be required from an early stage so that the economic destruction caused by the pandemic is gone away. Okay, this is how the things come. Besides, he will need to urgently attend to a series of controversies and setbacks, some with international repercussions, that the Trump administration has become enmeshed in. What is enmeshed in? Entangled in. The Trump administration has been entangled in many controversies, and some of the controversies like H-1B visa carries international repercussions. So Mr. Biden will need to urgently attend to these controversies and setbacks which were created due to pandemic, as well as due to the fact that Trump administration got entangled into those kinds of controversies, setbacks, and repercussions. Even international repercussions are feared against it. Does Mr. Biden possess the political heft, personal charisma, and party mandate to do so? So, this is the question raised against the capabilities of Mr. Biden. Does he have political abilities, personal charisma, personal magnetic abilities, talents, and the party mandate to do so. So does Mr. Biden has so many things to carry out these tasks after winning the election? Sorry. The party answered with a resounding yes to all three questions at the convention, which featured eloquent speeches by former President Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, First Ladies Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, as well as party heavyweights including Bernie Sanders, Nancy Pelosi, and Elizabeth Warren. So the heavyweights, as well as former presidents and the First Lady and other important persons, made eloquent speeches, made declarations very boldly, and said, yes, Mr. Biden can do it. So this is what went in the convention that lasted 4 days. While a few younger Democratic leaders were featured too, the convention left little doubt that the old guard was still running the show, even if it was seeking to woo the next generation of voters within the framework of an altered political reality. So, this says a lot many things. Let us begin with the first part. So, uh, well, uh, the seniors like Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, uh, Michelle, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton were the heavyweights that said yes to Mr. Biden. Some younger Democrat leaders also featured in the scenario on the same line, and the convention left little doubt. So it showed quite a lot of confidence that the old guard was still running the show. So the old guard, the seasoned person, Mr. Biden, was still running the show, even if it was seeking to woo the next generation of voters within the framework of an altered political reality. Eh, Even though he was looking for uh, votes, or rather attracting votes from next generation voters, uh, under conditions of political altered political reality. What is altered political reality? The altered political reality is the crisis created due to pandemic and the controversies created on that account. So this is the first para that uh, details the nomination of uh, Joe Biden along with uh, his running mate Kamala Harris, and the problems, the immediate problems that USA is facing uh, internationally as well as locally. Okay, at the heart of that reality, which reality? Well, it is all connected. The altered political reality. That reality means the altered political reality. At the heart of that reality stands Mr. Trump, wobbling as he scores lower than Mr. Biden in the opinion polls, mostly for his bungling response to the pandemic, yet relentlessly throwing punches on mail-in voting and appealing to the silent majority that Mr. Biden, if elected, would hike taxes on Americans by 4 trillion, eviscerate the Second Amendment, expand sanctuary cities, and end fossil fuels. So, uh, again, a lot many facts have been put in just one sentence, but all these in a flow. What it says that the core of that political reality is Mr. Trump, who is unstable because he scores lower than Mr. Biden in the opinion polls. Why? because he has been bungling, for his bungling response to the pandemic. His response to the pandemic was not clear cut, not transparent. Rather, it was having lots of doubts and lots of uh, instabilities. Yet relentlessly throwing punches on mail-in voting and appealing to the silent majority. He has been using mails and appealing to the silent majority, the majority that is not speaking anything. They are just watching, and that Mr. Biden, if elected, would hike taxes on Americans by 4 trillion. Now, these are allegations that Mr. Trump is making against Mr. Biden, that the taxes would be hiked by 4 trillion by removing the Second Amendment, eviscerate the Second Amendment. Sorry, the removal of Second Amendment, eviscerate is a serious kind of thing used for removing skin of the goat, while butchers prepare it for meat. Now it is something. Second removal of Second Amendment is just like that. Expand sanctuary cities. Mr. Biden will expand sanctuary cities. Sorry, sanctuary cities that require municipal permissions for immigration for entry. Even if you belong to US, you require municipal permission for entry into those cities. And end fossil fuels, uh, putting an end to fossil fuels. To effectively counter these arguments and avoid another debacle of the sort that Mr. Clinton faced in 2016, Miss Clinton faced in 2016, Mr. Biden and Ms. Harris need show only one thing, that they can save the US economy and repair the country's standing with the rest of the world, especially by reclaiming the pivotal role in the multilateral governance of global public health, climate change, and trade. So, it says a very simple thing, that uh, the 2016 elections had catastrophic experience over Ms. Clinton in 2016, and Mr. Biden doesn't want that to be repeated. So he and Ms. Harris must show that they can take the country uh, uh, with good governance, multilateral governance, multifaceted governance of global public health. So public health becomes very important. Then climate change and the trade. So these have to be put in place to show that or to gather confidence of voters in general. They must be able to reclaim their role in these three areas: the global public health, climate change, and the trade. Whether the Democrats basking in congratulatory afterglow of the convention and reaffirming their commitment to the liberal values, play their hand carefully through this endgame scenario, or whether the Trump vision of an inward-looking US still carries the day, remains to be seen. So, whether of these two, one connected to Mr. Biden, that Mr. Biden is shouting aloud and congratulating himself uh, after the convention, reaffirming their commitments to liberal values, and their another commitment to play their hands carefully through this endgame scenario. And the second is whether Trump vision of the Trump of an inward-looking US, having inward-looking it is talking about H1B visa episode, carries the day if that will be preferred by the voters. The restrictions of H1B visa will be preferred by voters, or voters will show confidence on Mr. Biden after the convention, it remains to be seen. It will be waited to be seen. So this gives a big question mark as to who will be selected by the voters or elected by the voters, given altered political scenario. What is clear is that electoral outcome will be both a referendum expressing how much a broadly inclusive paradigm of the American dream still resonates with the people, and a signal of the degree of openness that uh, it will tolerate towards the peoples of other nations. So these are the two things. The first is a referendum that will uh, resonate with the people of USA. The second thing is the international acceptance of the transparency. Those who are related to US. So Mr. Biden will have to bring this A game to this final lap. So finally, this is suggestive that Mr. Biden must bring this challenging game to the final lap in order to prove his guts and merits. So with these questions, or rather doubts, or rather skepticism, the passage is closed by the author. Thank you. Thank you, with a request to like and subscribe this channel.